That struggle in personal life got me into writing. So my first book, which as you rightly said was called A Passage Through Life, and it was very personal to me since I had lost someone extremely close to me, and that laid the foundation, or let me say, laid a philosophical foundation for me to start seeing the other part of life, beyond work and beyond the things that we do day to day. Now the current book that I've written, it's a fable, it's a work of fiction, it's a fable so that you can read it, enjoy it. It has everything that you have in an interesting movie. The book is about. It's about a young boy who's lost everything. It's about struggle. And it's the struggle that molds and defines your character. So I'm going to repeat this again, because every struggle that you face, whether it's in school or after school or at any time in your life, and how you face up to that struggle will actually define you. And that is the most important thing that you learn from struggle. The definition it gives your character. The integrity that comes out of that struggle. You'll meet a lot of people, but ones with that one particular set of character and integrity will stand out. And you know that they've gone through the grind. And I know from experience in school that this is also a grind. You're going through a grind over different levels. So now coming back to the book, the story of the protagonist, like I mentioned before, is about struggle, how it defines and molds character. It's about the quintessential quest for life, the mastery over the self, and untangling the perplexity of destiny. It goes beyond human endeavor to define more simply that one question that we always ask ourselves: why am I here? And what does it mean for me to be here? But you're here to fulfill the destiny of this universe. Individual destinies are very small in place. So fulfilling the destiny of the universe, you play your part. It's something that you will understand as you go through life. It will come to you. Somebody asked the monk a question. He said, "Can you tell me about life?" He said, "I can't tell you about life, but you can learn from life." So that's the way life is. So now coming to the book, it's about a young boy by the name of Sankalp. I'm sure you know what Sankalp means. How's your Hindi? Do you know what Sankalp means? What? Pledge, right. Another word for it? I think resolute. To have that resolution. So it's this young boy who loses his family. The book is set in somewhere around 1210 AD, and this is a time when the Yuans were kind of this is a Mongolic race which were actually coming into Tibet, and they were led by a general by the name of Darkan Dudra, a Mongol general. So this is set in that time of 1200, 1210 AD, and of course by 1240 the Yuans and the Mongols had come all over into Tibet and in parts of India. So 1210, this particular general raids a village, and he destroys the entire village like the Mongols are. The entire village is destroyed, and the headman's son is Sankalp, the protagonist in the story. And he had taken his sheep out for grazing and somehow escapes this bloodbath. And he's going back when he meets a family which is actually running away. And they tell him what has happened and that every member of his family has been killed, including his brothers. And they tell him that he needs to escape, he needs to run. And then, while he's running for his life, an encounter happens with a monk. In this case, his name is Kalimpong. There's a small place in Gangtok. When you're coming down from Gangtok, there is a small place called Kalimpong. And the monk is named after that place. And of course, it also houses a major part of the Kangyu text, very critical Kangyu text. And incidentally, which will be what is surprising, and I don't know if you know about it, there is something called the book of Brahmachinta. And you have a similar text called the Bhrigu Santa, which is actually about prediction of the world in Hoshiarpur. And the surprising fact for me was that this Bhrigu Santa is a very Indian text. And what surprised me was that it was very deeply linked to this Kal Chakra text, which is a Buddhist text. So this was an eye-opener that how the base of all philosophy, especially in this part of the world, is the Vedic literature that we have. And Buddhism is a stem that comes out of that Vedic literature. So coming back to the book is the interaction between this monk and this boy. So when he meets him for the first time, he tells him his story. He says, everything has been killed and I am taking refuge here. And can I be here? Tomorrow morning I'll be away. Usually people with enlightened minds, they are able to sense the thermodynamics of your body and mind. So the first thing that comes into this monk's mind is that how come he's able to find the place which is my place of meditation? Because usually these places are, beyond human eye. You can't approach these places very easily. So again, then destiny comes into play, that maybe there's a force that made this boy reach there. So at first the monk is not able to decipher that, but he knows there is a reason. Because without reason, he knows that he cannot be approached. And while with the monk, this young boy is contemplating. Everything in my village is finished. Whether I should stay here and take the risk of being killed, or should I run away to the southern plains of India? Much like the Dalai Lama of today, who have probably went through the same thoughts when the Chinese invaded. So he asks the monk, I want to go away. And there is a very unusual trait with people of intelligence, or I would say higher intelligence. They never enforce their will. They will never say, do this. They will let you make the choice. They will show you the way, but they will let you make the choice. And struggle starts from there. That first choice that you make will define where you will go in your life and in the eyes of that monk or the teacher. So this boy is given that choice, he decides to stay, and then begins his spiritual journey, which takes him to another journey, which is the journey of learning the ways of a warrior. And there's a particular line in the book where after hearing a lot or listening to the tenets of Buddhism, he says, why are you teaching me how to fight? I mean, you're talking about non-violence, you're talking about all this spirituality, and then you're teaching me how to fight. And the monk turns back and says that, how do you tend to preach the invaders away? Or will you just walk up to them and say, please leave my village alone, you've done what you had to, now go back. So sometimes fighting for what you believe in or what you think is right is also very important. So then comes that part and the part of learning, and the boy fulfills his destiny. That destiny which you say must, that must has to change. Destiny is no preordained, superimposed reality, but a metamorphosis of deeds determined by a set of choices at various intervals in time. And that's what makes destiny. So actually and eventually, everything that you're doing today is what is making your tomorrow. and tomorrow is what your destiny is. But it's an interesting book which has everything in it. It has philosophy, it has some explanation of scriptures, it talks about war strategies, it talks about love, and it talks about destiny.